Ian.
Dave.
How you doing, buddy?
It has been a long day.
It's been a very long day. Anybody watching the YouTube feed might think that we're in prison or something right now.
Yeah, it's very dim in here. We are in the honeymoon suite in Winter Park, Colorado. We are at the RMDE driving event.
Yep, Rocky Mountain Driving Experience.
Yes, where we get to drive a bunch of press cars. And we will be bringing you in the coming weeks many hashtag contents about it.
Yes.
But
the highs, the lows.
I think we want to start in true fashion with something that agitated me. Like that seems like the correct order of operations for an Apex adjacent podcast.
Yeah.
Usually we start with me being agitated and we move on from there.
Right.
So why not start the whole series off with that?
We move on. When you say we move on from there, we move to a different phase of your agitation.
Yeah. 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 What'd you think about it? Yeah. Okay. So let's just get a couple quick things out of the way.
Okay.
Should we just run down the list of the cars we drove today?
No.
I think keep it secret.
I think we want to focus on one specific car on this episode because it's so fresh in our minds. It's the last thing that we drove today.
Yes.
We had a decent amount of time with it.
We really did.
Yeah.
Probably what, 45 an hour almost?
About 45 to an hour. Yeah. Yeah.
And let me tell you, it was plenty of time to get to the essence of this car. And essence, I feel like, is the correct word for it, right?
Yes.
All right. So what we drove was the 2023.
Yep. 2023
Mercedes-Benz EQS.
Yes.
580.
Oh, he's still going.
4MATIC space SUV.
Yep.
Okay, so let's start. It's very expensive.
It is very expensive. It comes bone stock at $126,000.
That's American.
Yeah, I've paid almost that for a house.
Me too.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
Me too. My first house was about that.
Yeah.
The one we drove was over 150.
It was 150. It was like 149.9.
Oh, okay. It was okay. Yeah. So it was about 150.
Not to split hairs because who at that point, who the fuck cares? Right.
A grand just falls out of your.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's expensive, but it feels it. It really does. Like inside, it feels. Yeah. I mean, the materials, the leathers are gorgeous. The seats are pretty epic.
Yeah. Yeah, it has adjustable bolsters, so you can get little hugs.
Mm-hmm.
I backed it down from a 10 to a 5 to accommodate for my man hams, my love handles, my COVID weight.
Yeah, that's the thing. My 1991 Ford Taurus had adjustable bolsters.
Did it really?
The SHO had adjustable bolsters. But it did not have a scale of 1 to 10 of how much you want your Mercedes to hug you.
Right. And I could control it. You can control it from that second screen on the passenger side.
Yes.
Should we show the interior of this car?
Yes, that's a great idea. Are you showing the people the thing?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. It's important to see the interior of this thing because it is bonkers.
Yeah, it really is. There's interior. We want to see the interior. Yeah. Available trim packages. We don't care about any of that stuff.
Yeah, maybe try to build one.
Yeah, let's build one. Oh, vehicles key.
So, basically, if you don't like screens, if you think there's too many screens, this thing is not.
No, this is your walking nightmare is what this is.
It's just the whole thing is screens all over the place.
The entire dashboard, it's a one air vent on the driver's side at the very far left, one air vent on the passenger side, very far right. And in the middle, nothing but a giant piece of glass.
Yeah. And then there's like other screens stuck on places. Like the second row has screens that are mounted that you can't like hide away.
Right.
To the driver, to the front seats facing the second row. And then there's like a tablet thing that you can drive that sits between the two second row seats that you can like hand back to the third row.
Yeah, you can like undock this out of the center console.
And you then you can drive the screens that are mounted to the front seats.
Oh man, it's so weird. It's so weird.
Crazy. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It really annoyed the shit out of me. Because like every feature in it is like,
oh, here we go. Here's the interior. Yeah.
Some sort of like bullshit new agey sort of like thing to it, right? Like it's not it wasn't like a comfort mode, it was like essence.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah. It's a vehicle that like it's operating on vibes instead of like an actual like setting.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Like I think so talk us through, because when we initially got in, it was very overwhelming. The amount of light that's coming at your face from all the screens, trying to figure out stuff.
Plus buttons, plus physical buttons just everywhere.
Yes. The seat controls, the center. At one point, I moved my hand on something and it asked me if I wanted to like start fingerprint recognition configuration, like an iPhone 5 Touch ID.
Yeah.
We were in a bit of a hurry, so we had to hit the road a little quickly in this vehicle.
Yeah.
And you were driving, and you then hit the accelerator.
Yeah, I was so yeah, getting into it, I was very like overwhelmed. Because it was like I couldn't figure anything out.
We were hurried.
Yeah, we were a little harried and trying to go fast and get out of this really tight parking lot and everything. And so you get in, it's all electric. So, the startup procedure is a little is different for every electric car now. And, moving the gear selector is different in every car. But on top of that, just like getting the navigation to work and everything else, it just seems like, I think that once it's up and running, that center screen is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think especially compared to some of the other ones we drove today.
It's big,
but the learning curve is steep. And I feel like for the typical Mercedes-Benz owner who's spending $150,000, like that's going to be an ask.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was weird. But then we got out on the road and I was just like, well, you know what? One thing I know works. And I just nailed the throttle and man, it is quick.
I was pinned to the passenger seat.
Yeah.
It fucking scoots.
Yeah.
I believe that's a technical term.
It is. It is. That's in the marketing material. Fucking scoots. So it's 568 horsepower and like 630 some pound-feet of torque.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels it. It's got that electric car
fun button.
Yes. And just like solve the problems.
Yes.
With the right foot.
Yes.
But then you go back and you can only do that so much.
Right.
That only takes you so far, and then you have to deal with the rest of it. So
everything else starts soaking in at that point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we giggle. It was like overwhelmed. Giggle.
Right.
What the fuck does this mean?
Yeah.
Right? That was kind of the
yeah.
And then we turned off on a dirt road and did some launches on the dirt road, and now we're back again.
Right.
We're like, woo!
Yep.
And then I moved to the back seat. And I think that was when I lost it. It was just like, oh my God, what is happening?
I think we started chipping away at it when I was in the passenger seat. So this screen over here that you see on the very far right-hand side, that's that's the passenger playground.
Yeah.
Now, by default, that should be something that Ian loves. Right? Because as a passenger, Ian loves a button. Ian loves noodling.
I do.
Right?
Yeah.
You get in there. Buddy.
I like to be involved if other people are driving.
Yes.
That's how badly that's how much I don't like being a passenger.
You basically want to drive without driving.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, you want to drive.
Also, I would like to drive. But if I can't drive, then I'm going to insert myself into your process.
That's exactly it. And I think that screen is just because I think you were kind of teased with it in a Jeep Grand Wagoneer that we drove a while ago.
Oh, right.
Where that screen was basically useless.
It was, yeah.
They have one on the passenger side, but basically it just kind of, it's like, it just shows you
couldn't do
like gas mileage or something. Yeah. Like it was maybe you could control the radio.
Yeah.
Or watch something on your own. But this makes you, the passenger, a part of the entire vehicle experience. Right?
Yeah, you're essentially like, I mean, it's like you're a part of the flight crew.
You know what? That's a great point. You really are. You are co-piloting this vehicle with me, right? And so like, we learned very early on that like, when I was in the passenger seat, I could adjust your bolsters.
Yeah.
I could set your massager. Like you can do all this stuff for the driver. Now, I kind of like that because like, you're very focused in heavy traffic. You have someone with you. Hey, sweetie, could you turn on my seat heater? Yeah. I called Ian sweetie.
Well, though, I'm laughing because my first thought was that my wife and I would abuse the shit out of this.
And just harassing each other.
We would harass each other with it. And you're like, oh, I could be more supportive for my dear wife. And I'm like, oh man, I'm going to get her good.
I don't like that she beat me on the Wordle today.
Yeah, exactly.
Guess who's getting seat heater and no massage?
Yep.
Oh, it's 10 degrees outside? Seat cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
Uh-huh. Yeah, had a lot of salt last night. Let's squeeze in those bolsters.
What are you talking about? They're at their normal setting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just gaslighting with technology. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But it's again like just the name of everything.
See that because
that's what drove me nuts.
Yes. I think that in theory, the ability to do some of these things, some of them, you're okay with.
Sure.
But when it comes to like assigning a name for like setting an environment in the car.
Right. Right. I mean, if you want to have a cool light display,
yes,
call it a cool light display. Don't call it like a wellness meter or whatever the fuck it was in this thing. Like, it was stuff like that. And we determined that this is for anyone who is, unfamiliar with Gwyneth Paltrow's lifestyle brand Goop.
Yeah.
If you bought everything in the Goop calendar, you own this car.
Yeah.
Like this is perfect.
Right.
Right. And if that stuff rubs you the wrong way, this thing's going to drive you nuts.
Right.
So like this seems like aimed at a really specific person.
It does.
And there's not like a ton of them.
Right.
But they all have money and they're all idiots. So they're going to buy one.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. If you like the wellness stuff is a trigger for you.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that this like very it wants to be like an insanely progressive vehicle that's like that Mercedes, I would imagine, says is like an extension of you.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't like, let's say like with your R32, that is an extension of you because you are getting a thing like, say, just the steering feel.
Yeah.
Right. You're getting a steering feel and you are meeting it halfway. Right. Like, and that is part of you. In this, you are being assaulted with wellness and vibes and chakras.
Yeah.
And you do not wish to take that half step.
I do not.
To get to there.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. You've never had a man bun.
No. Well, I did actually.
Did you? Yeah.
Well, yeah. During the pandemic, I definitely had a man bun.
True. Yeah. Yeah. You've never had a man bun in earnest.
No.
It was more necessity.
Yeah.
And we were all very scared during those times.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, I've never like aligned my chakra.
You've never believed in astrology.
No.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
See, I can tell you're going to the dark place just talking about these things.
Yeah. They drive me nuts because like, it's like, when you see like a liberal on Twitter, just going way too far.
Yes.
And you're like, just
stop fucking it up for the rest of us.
Tone it down.
Right.
Shit's already bad enough. You don't have to exaggerate.
Right.
So it's sort of like, it's kind of like, people on my team overreaching
Yes.
drives me more crazy than people not on my team overreaching. Does that make sense?
That is a great point. Yeah.
And that's why the wellness shit drives me crazy.
Right.
Because like I expect like super religious people to be a little bit crazy.
Right.
Right. But I think like secular stuff it's the same shit.
Right.
Like it's the same, like, here's the meaning of life and here's the secret. And there is no secret. You just got to fucking do shit.
Here's a structure for you to kind of fit stuff in to answer questions you may have about life and how things work.
And the wellness stuff, I think the language of it is very like, very pleased with itself and very certain.
Right.
And that drives me bonkers.
Right.
Like, it just drives me nuts and I don't like it. And so to have it in my car every day, it would drive me, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Right.
Like I would drive this thing right back to the dealership.
Here's how wild it is. So truly, there is a lotus flower on that passenger screen. Like it kind of looks like a crystally lotus flower.
Yeah.
There is a literal pyramid.
Yeah.
On like tiny, I don't know what it does. You tapped it a few times. I think
it didn't do anything.
That's because you didn't have the Illuminati uplink enabled in the settings. But there's like a crystal lotus looking thing. Mm-hmm. You go in there and you can set like the wellness environment of the car.
Yeah.
And so like, let's say you pick tranquil, right? And like, it will play like tranquil things across all of the screens except the speedometer and stuff like that, the driver display.
Yeah.
And it will change the fragrance that machine is pumping out. It has the built-in Mercedes fragrance machine, right? It'll play soothing music or whatever that mood music is. It changes the lighting.
Yeah.
It's a massive distraction if you ask me.
Well, and also it's that whole thing of like, this thing already costs $150,000.
Right.
If you're buying this car, how much more meaning into your life do you need to find? Like, this is the way that you're going to find meaning in your life with this absurdly expensive, vulgar, like display of wealth.
Right.
Like, it's so counter to the whole supposed point of like the, like Eastern wellness and all that shit. Like, even if you took that at face value, a luxury $150,000 car is not anyone's path to nirvana or Zen or whatever. Like, it's such obvious bullshit. And it's just like, I can't get past it. Can't get past it.
No amount of like hilarious throttle action can like, that's not enough sugar to make the medicine go down of this.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It is very momentarily.
Yeah.
But especially like, so we kind of turned off on a dirt road to just do a driver swap.
Right.
And we did a couple of launches over there.
Yeah.
And that was fun because it was like a loose surface. And you can kind of feel it moving around underneath you. That was fun.
It was.
And then we went and got McDonald's French fries.
And we ate McDonald's French fries in a $150,000 car. So if you're wondering why you should subscribe to Apex Adjacent, it's to tell you that for sure we had two.
We're here to serve.
Yep, we are. We had two large fries in a $150,000 car.
Yeah.
As if I didn't fart into that seat enough.
Yeah. I was playing a game on the back screen and was like with my greasy French fry fingers.
If you have children, this car is going to get fucked up.
Oh, immediately.
Yeah. When we were talking about stuff earlier, so like this whole thing is one piece of glass. Like it is. And like, so let's say you're holding your phone like this, like talking to the driver or something like that. And your phone, like when you're at this level, you live a phone case free life. Rich people do not use cases on their phone. Right. So like you have metal edges on that fucking iPhone 14 Pro Max.
Yeah.
And Tim Apple lubes these fucking things up at the factory. every year, every generation of iPhone is slipperier and slipperier. It's like he sprays them down with Pam at the fucking Foxconn factory himself. Hey, hi. Well, we're very excited. This year's iPhone will slip out of your hand like a wet bar of soap in mere seconds. But someone is going to drop a Yeti mug, a Swell bottle, an iPhone, something on that, and it's going to crack the entire display.
Oh, and I mean that's adults. That's what the adults.
That's what the adults are gonna do.
You would be amazed at the things that kids do in cars. I mean, someone's gonna climb on that dashboard.
Yep.
And put a foot through that thing.
When was the last time you really looked at your laptop screen?
Oh yeah, I know.
Or your computer monitor screen.
Yeah.
That shit, like, as clean as I like to think that I am, that shit gets dirty quick.
Yeah.
Nothing but COVID droplets.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. And also, like, if you have kids, the amount of control you have, that they give the back passengers in this thing. You would get lost all the time. They'd just be putting in new directions. So you can control the nav. You can control the climate control. You can control the music.
Nope, we're going to Chuck E. Cheese.
Right. Yeah. We're not going to school.
Right?
Yeah.
That weird, it was almost like a small Kindle Fire tablet.
Yeah. Well, it's for the third row.
Technically.
I think, right? So that's the only thing that makes sense is that it's for the third row.
Yeah. But like that is a solution for a problem that doesn't exist. Because how often when you're driving with a car full of people, do you say, hey, is the temperature okay back there? Or does someone back there say, hey, could you turn up the AC a little bit? Right. That's what that problem solves.
Right. But if you notice, there was no buttons for the rear controls at the front. You can only do it through the screens.
Oh my God. Why are we designing things like that?
I don't know.
Because it still had a massive center console.
Yeah.
I get like, okay, so electric car skateboard chassis, there's no place to stick controls, right? Like in a center stack, no place to stick vents.
Yeah.
There was a massive center thing there.
Yeah. I know. It's so fucking dumb.
It's such a weird car, man. It's such a weird car. This is something that we would never have access to on a normal basis.
Yeah, and it's just so like, I don't know, it's just so ostentatious and vulgar and gross, you know? And then I think that's what drives me nuts about it. Is like it is so obviously a status symbol. Yeah. But then to like try to be like, oh well, but no, we're enlightened and
this is your place, your sanctuary.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
So here's my sanctuary. You have a very good stereo in your car. Yeah. Or a middle of the road stereo. Right? As long as something does not sound like horse shit coming out of the speaker into my ears, I'm happy, right? My bar is pretty low for a stereo system. You give me an album and a car that doesn't suck to drive, and I'm okay.
Or you could do what this does and just say, being isolated from poor people is wellness. Is what this car is saying. I mean, I am not like a lefty class warrior really by any means, but I'm ready to burn some fucking rich people right now.
30 minutes in a 2023 EQS 580 4MATIC SUV, and Ian is making a guillotine out of hotel furniture right now.
Yeah, I've been radicalized.
I like that you're like this like super liberal sleeper agent, and like this is your like Winter Soldier activation.
That's what the fragrances were. Those fragrances just.
Oh yeah. I looked over at Ian at one point, and his eyes were just completely black. Yeah.
I didn't care for it, Dave.
So we find ourselves in a bit of a pickle, right? Because we consider ourselves a positive show. I do, at least.
Wait, when was this?
We try to bring positivity into people's lives.
Uh-huh.
We want to make doing the dishes more entertaining.
Sure.
Right? We've met lovely friends. We've made incredible connections, and our lives have been made better by doing the podcast.
I suppose. Yes, that's true.
They have. How do we make that work with this car? Like, where do these two things intersect?
Great news. Most people will never have to drive one of these.
You are correct. You are correct.
And I mean, also, like, I do feel like you're going to save a lot of time when you meet someone who has one of these.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know exactly who this person is.
Right.
Because this thing is aimed at, like, I don't know, 300 people worldwide.
Right, right.
Know?
Yeah.
And they all live in, like, Southern California.
I'm surprised it did not have some kind of, like, influencer mode where it would, like, automatically put shit on social media, like throw filters on you.
Right.
Right. Something like that has to be on a sketchboard at Mercedes-Benz HQ. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I'm surprised like the seat adjustment wasn't labeled like body positivity. You know, like it's all that like just bullshit stuff.
Right.
Have a fucking aneurysm.
It would be one thing if this thing was 50 grand and it just like made some like big technology leaps, because big screens aren't really that expensive. Right?
No,
they're not that expensive.
And I even think at 50 grand, the quirky, like, hippy dippy stuff would go down a lot easier.
It would.
But in this, it is just so, oh my God.
I got just a slightly different vibe from it. I got like if Scientology was a car.
Right.
Like it felt like that, like, oh, this is your new religion. Mm-hmm. Like Mercedes has it, like the wellness stuff. We have an answer for everything.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And also like, you're going to have a worse time in something else. Mm-hmm. Right. Like that's not what you want. That kind of carries the, like, I don't know. I'm super concerned about this from a service perspective. Yeah. I would love to talk to Serrated again when he has one of these roll through to figure out like what, like the screen, like the adhesive removal product, like the whole thing. And just I want the perspective of the proletariat, right? I want the perspective of the service techs that have to deal with customer states. Yeah. Right. The things that they break. I want the sales and support folks to tell me what it's like dealing with these people. And then like, I don't know. I want to know, like, are these assumptions that we're making 100% accurate? Like what are,
right. Well, and like what's the second owner experience going to be like with this thing?
Dude, Android Auto flipped this shit out like 4 times. Your phone kept disconnecting.
Yeah, that was weird.
Android Auto's been around forever now. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. Yeah. What does this look like when you have more than one driver and you're alternating? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. There's some weird stuff with this car for sure.
Yeah.
And I would love to be able to concentrate on that stuff, but it's too
This did not put you in your happy place, buddy.
It really didn't. And like, I don't know. I did not expect that. I didn't.
Right.
I like Mercedes.
Yeah, we love Mercedes. You give us an expensive Mercedes, we're going to want to drive it.
That E400 that we drove several years ago.
Such a great car.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I love a big shouty Mercedes.
Yeah, right?
But this it just rubbed me really the wrong way.
It did. And I get that like Mercedes is making cars for a wide swath of folks, right? Mm-hmm. Because for every one of these, you have 5,000 CLAs.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Or C300s. Yeah.
Right. And okay, cool. Okay. I get that. Right. You know, but like, I don't want this as the thing. I don't want this as the thing that those people having an entry into Mercedes aspire to get later on when they get a better job, they make more money, whatever. They can afford a better car. I don't want them to have this. Like, I don't want them to. There's other things. I don't know.
Aspire to this.
Yeah, right?
This is too try hard.
Yeah. And
aspire to something cooler than this.
Yeah. It feels like a really cheap veneer. Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like all that stuff is just all gimmicks.
Yeah.
And there's like no substance to any of it.
Yeah. It feels like a Snapchat filter turned into a car.
And if they had just made this thing like super luxurious and simple inside.
Yeah.
With that drivetrain.
Yeah.
You know, and just made it like quiet and comfortable, it would be a great car.
It would.
And all this other stuff is just dumb gimmicks that just take away from it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and like the steering wheel's stupid with the half haptic, half
like
push button
just
stuff.
Wiping your thumb in different directions.
Yeah, like there's a button that is shaped like a D-pad.
It is.
Right? It's got arrows on it.
Fuck you for thinking you should touch those arrows.
But it's also a button.
Right.
So you press it.
Right.
But then you're meant to swipe across it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's a button, but don't use it. The D-pad button, which is the universal symbol for this is a 5-way button.
Yeah. Touch this to move something around. It's like the 3 seashells turned into a car.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah. It's the shell game, right? Like moving stuff around, you mean?
No, like Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
He goes to he's like frozen and they unfreeze him to fight Wesley Snipes.
Right.
Right. And because apparently cops get worse in the future. Not that they're more effective killing machines. No, that they're actually not able to kill somebody, which is that's how I would prefer my cops, right? But Sylvester Stallone goes to the restroom, and there's no toilet paper or anything. There's just 3 little seashells, like sitting there on like just like a little tray or like a little shelf or something, and he doesn't know what to do. And so people are making fun of him later because he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. You know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It is.
Right.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the first like 15 minutes in this car for sure.
Yes. If you have 0 issues scanning a QR code for a restaurant menu, this car's for you. Right? This
is solving a problem.
Yeah. If you're upset that a restaurant hands you a paper menu. No. Upset.
Hands you a paper menu. Yeah.
Right? This car's for you.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, this was like our Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah.
Like bits. Yeah. Right. Yeah. If you have a jade egg in your vagina now,
it looks like it could be a jade egg.
It does. It does. It is.
Probably.
Speaking from experience,
given your history,
given my history. Yeah. Ian what should I take the interior off?
Yeah, remove it from my sight.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry to continue traumatizing you with that. Yeah. I mean, it looks perfectly fine from the outside. Remember, Ian and I walked towards this. We are the ones who volunteered. We asserted ourselves to get into it.
Yeah. Because I mean, I knew it was gonna be fast,
right?
And that was as far as my thinking went.
Yeah, you can't have a luxury car near us and us not to be like, hey, how's it going, buddy?
Right.
So what are we doing with this luxury car?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And yet
here we are. You're pissed off and I'm in your hotel room.
Yeah. Angie, get out. I don't have anything else to say.
Nothing? Okay.
I got nothing else.
Okay. I mean,
I feel like I'm only going to get angry again.
if this is car future, then it's upsetting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it is, because I do think like it's just like I said. I think it's aimed at too narrow a segment.
Yeah.
To make a super big impact, but it's just obnoxious.
Yeah.
You know,
it is. And certain people are drawn to stuff like that,
Mhm.
right? Can you think of a vulgar thing that you have liked in the past?
Oh, sure. I mean, a G-Wagon,
Right.
right?
Yes.
G-Wagons are extremely vulgar.
Right.
And they're kind of cool.
Yeah. And I liked a Ram Power Wagon,
Right?
right? That is vulgar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, a Rolls Royce,
yes.
very vulgar, but
Right.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Really fucking cool.
There's lots of examples of how to do vulgar and ostentatious and over the top in a cool way.
Yeah.
This ain't it.
No, it's not. Okay. Let's hide the bad man from the screen. Okay.
Take it away.
I will take it away. It's gone. The listeners can't see it. And here, I'll hide it from you, buddy. Okay. I'll hide it from you. We're bringing it over to Dave's house. Okay. All right. So Ian,
mm-hmm.
do you have an album of the week for me?
Oh, do I have an album of the week? Stand by.
Yeah. Give me something fun to listen to. Give me something that like takes my mind away from the digital death of the Mercedes-Benz EQS 580 4MATIC SUV.
Yes. Okay. I think I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what I want to do.
Okay.
Exactly what I'd want to do.
Uh-huh.
Because this is like early post-punk kind of scrappy. I hope I haven't already recommended this album, but this is from like the late 70s. It's Wire's first record called Pink Flag. And I feel like it's the perfect like antidote to that. It's very like scrappy.
Okay.
Kind of working class kind of feeling.
Okay.
And a little bit righteous angry. And this album is like an all-time classic. It fucking rips.
Okay.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Pitchfork gave it a 10.
And well deserved.
Okay. Wire.
This is a
Pink Flag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this is on a lot of people's like all-time top album lists.
Okay. All right.
For across genres.
Does it feel analog?
Very.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's from
1979,
I think.
Yeah. 77. Harvest, 1977.
77. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, very analog.
Okay. All right.
And it rips.
Okay. Wire, Pink Flag. Links will be in the YouTube description.
Yes.
If you need to go to your happy place
from
a Mercedes-Benz EQS.
Yeah.
580.
Yeah.
4MATIC.
I put this on and then
SUV. There's still letters.
I know. They're still coming. Yeah. I put this on and then, vandalize it.
Okay.
That's the vibe.
I love that this is turning you into like anarchist Ian.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get me there, but this is doing it.
Yeah. Like you are ready.
Yeah. That's the stuff that like super sets me off. Is like the like goop nonsense. Like it's the fastest way to get me just spun right up to 11.
Yeah. Right.
I don't have a good explanation.
That's okay. You don't need to have one.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I feel like you were more magnanimous towards this car. You were not as like.
No, it was upsetting. It was upsetting. Yeah. I'm in a unique position where I am upset by this car, but I'm also entertained by your upsettedness.
Okay.
So I have a little bit of an offset.
Gotcha.
In that, like, it's like watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. When Larry David is having a shitty day, you're having a good time watching the show.
Okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen to Pink Flag.
Pink Flag.
Buying whatever nonsense that was.
Yeah. Buy a bunch of Pink Flag albums and then just give the rest of the money to charity.
Yes.
Yeah. Buddy, I think that when we do these press events, we have to show that we're good sports and we have to drive as many cars as we possibly can to make the manufacturers happy.
Yes.
And we are happy to do that.
Well, and I will say, this is the only car that we drove today that I was even a little bit upset about. Like,
right.
Everything else, bar one other one,
yeah,
I very much enjoyed.
Yeah.
Or was neutral.
Yeah.
There was one car that I was neutral on, and everything else I really liked.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
For various reasons.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm excited to talk about the rest of these cars.
Me too.
Because this one, glad we got this one out of the way first.
Let's Band-Aid it. Let's just tear it right off, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take our medicine. We'll eat ice cream after that.
I like it.
Okay. Okay. Ian, if people like this show, what should they do?
Well, they should definitely subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah.
They should definitely tell some friends, probably. And they should definitely text us vanity plates, other just random things you see. You can call us, sure.
Yeah.
720-515-1391.
Right? There you go.
Dave, we did an upsetting car show.
We did. Do you need some Ambien or something? Are you okay?
No, my white hot rage will put me right to sleep.
You just listen to Pantera or something.
Yeah.
Just, Just
wash it all away.
Yep. Okay.
Dave, we did an upsetting car show.
Agitated Ian once again.
I'm agitated. You're the crypt keeper.
I'm falling asleep.
You're falling asleep over there.
I've been up since 3.
Everybody, we love you.